Okay, so let's talk about Rabbi Menachem Schneerson. Okay, slide 7. Rabbi Menachem Schneerson was a leading figure of the Noahide Law movement and head of the Chabad Lubavitch. Schneerson made statements about non-Jews, such as claiming that non-Jewish souls come from a satanic spheres, while only Jewish souls are holy. In the book Jewish Fundamentalism in Israel, written by secular Israeli activist Israel Shahak and American professor Norton Mezvinsky, Rabbi Schneerson is quoted about non-Jews being satanic, saying that non-Jews and Jews are of a different species and that non-Jews are indeed satanic. According to the rabbi's hate-filled logic, a non-Jew's life is in vain and purposeless beyond his or her service to Jews. I don't believe that most Jews, and when I say most Jews, I'm talking about 95, 96, maybe 97% of Jews believe this garbage. I don't believe they do. I think most Jews want to live their life in peace, and they want to live their life in accordance with the way they understand life to be. You know, if it's some of the traditions and the tenets that you see in Fiddler on the Roof, or you see other positions that are common among people who live lives in modern Judaism. Okay, let's celebrate that. I mean, the diversity is good. The diversity of opinion is good, and let them live as they see fit to live. But don't come to me and call me second-class citizen or the seed of Satan or less than human. I'm not going to put up with it. I don't put up with it when African Americans are called less than human. I don't put up with it when Jews are called less than human, and I'm not going to put up with it when somebody calls me less than human. It's not going to pass muster. If you have human DNA, you are human, and you have an equal right to all the laws, including the entirety of the Torah, which we're going to see. Okay. Let's take a look at slide 8. We'll get a description of these Noahide laws. What are they? Okay. Slide 8, the Noahide laws. These are good. These are, in a rabbi's opinion, not in the Torah. These do not exist in the Torah. They were created by rabbis in the Talmud. And this is their opinion that we're supposed to say, oh, these 7 are morally superior to the 10 commandments. These 7 are morally superior. These are the ones that everybody in the world should follow, not the 10 commandments that were handwritten by Yah. We should follow these handwritten by a rabbi, right, who rejected Messiah expressly. And here they are. Noahide number 1. Idolatry is forbidden. Man is commanded to believe in the one God alone and worship him only. Now, what this means is that all of those people who say, well, I believe in the Holy Trinity, you're an idolater and deserving of decapitation. Okay, period. You want to say that? Great. Under this law, you're deserving of decapitation. Yeah, and anybody who says that there is a son of Yah, and I'm one of those, who believes in the Ben Adam and the Ben Elohim, Yahushua HaMashiach, that is idolatry under the Noahide laws. In other words, the very first law is anybody who professes a faith in the Messiah needs to be decapitated. That's Noahide number 1. That's moral. That's moral. You tell me, where does it say in the Gospels that people who don't accept Mashiach should be decapitated? Does it say that? Does it say it anywhere? No. Instead, it says, love your neighbor as yourself, even the ones that you were told you weren't supposed to have anything to do with. Remember the Samaritan who saved the guy? And what does Mashiach say? Who is your neighbor? Who is your neighbor? Very important stuff. So here we have the Gospels telling you to love Yah with all your heart, soul, and mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And then we get this moral premise from the Noahide protocol people saying, oh no, behead all the Christians. Premise number 1. Premise number 2. Incestuous and adulterous relations are forbidden. Okay, we're going to see how that plays out under the Talmud. Okay, remember, the Talmud is the doctrine that they're going to be using to enforce laws in respect to Jews. These laws are going to be used for non-Jews or the seed of Satan, as Rabbi Schneerson would refer to us. Okay, Noahide 3. Murder is forbidden. Oh, no duh. In fact, if you go back to the Torah, it says, thou shalt not kill. And you need to read that. And so, okay, great. We steal from the Ten Commandments. We keep that one. Murder is forbidden. Why? Because otherwise everything is relative and people might kill us. Yeah, right. The life of a human being is formed in God's image is sacred. Let's see if they actually believe that when we get into this, okay? We'll find out they don't. Okay. Noahide 4, cursing the name of God is forbidden. Okay. Besides honoring and respecting God, we learn from this precept that our speech must be sanctified. Okay, our speech must be sanctified. Okay, let's talk about this. G-D became the name of God when? And by what authority do you refer to Yah using that term? Show it to me. Show me in the Tanakh where it says, oh, by the way, when you get to reading this word Yod-He, Vav-He, always use some fake name. I double dog dare you to show me where that appears anywhere in Scripture. It doesn't appear anywhere in the Tanakh. Nowhere. In fact, Deuteronomy 32:1, Moshe says, I will publish the name, and he did. David says, I will declare the name to the assembly in Psalm 22, verse 22. Mashiach, Yahusha, says in John, the Gospel of Yahuchanan, chapter 17, verse 26, I have declared your name unto them and will declare it. Those who call upon the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. You show me where it says, thou shalt not ever pronounce the name and shall replace it with G-D. And how is that not cursing his name? How is it not cursing when you refer to your creator as, hey, what's his name? Hashem. That's not cursing him? It is cursing him. But you're going to determine what could come out of my mouth predicated upon some rabbinical edict created by an Amalekite, Akiva, and is going to be enforced against the world in order to stop my relationship with my creator, who breathed his name into my nostril and has called me to declare his name back to him. How dare you stand in between that? And by the way, if you do pronounce the sacred name under this Noahide law, guess what? Decapitation for you. Decapitation for you. Okay? Because this moral code here, the Noahide laws, are loving and kind. They demonstrate how to love your neighbor by decapitating him. Okay. Let's go to Noahide number 5. Theft is forbidden. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about how transient that is. Noahide number 6, and of course, thou shalt not steal is one of the 10 commandments. Noahide number 6, eating the flesh of a living animal is forbidden. Well, I know this goes on all over the place, right? I mean, they're doing that in China, right? No, I can't think of a single instance that I know of anywhere on earth where people do this. But they want to make sure that this is in the moral code. We'll talk about why here when we get into this. Number 7, mankind is commanded to establish courts of justice and a just social order to enforce the first 6 laws and enact any other useful laws or customs. Okay. Well, look, I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And, when I took my first justice class, Intro to Justice, the professor got up and said, okay, let's ask the question and let's get an answer from you, minds of mush. What is justice? What is justice? Now, I think simply justice is getting what you deserve, right? As Nathaniel Brandon used to say, do whatever you want, then pay for it. Then pay for it. Getting what you deserve. We don't want what we deserve. We want mercy. We don't want justice. We want mercy. But these guys say, oh, no, we want to establish courts of justice to give people what they deserve and a just social order. Well, when you talk about to give people what they deserve, I guess justice is in the eye of he who dispenses it, is it not? One of the seniors in that class, when it got around to him, we all said, oh, yeah, justice, getting what you deserve. Justice is this, justice is that, blah, blah, blah. Then we read Aristotle, and we read Plato, and we read, Jeremy Bentham, and John Stuart Mill, and on and on and on and on and on the list went. But the fact is when you talk, the senior looked at us and said, justice is punishment. That's what his definition of justice was. I think he went on to become a prosecuting attorney. Anyway, They're saying, you need to establish courts to enforce these 6 Noahide laws. That is to say, you need to put together enforcement bodies who will behead Christians for believing in the Son and who will behead those people who say the name of Yah publicly. Right? We need to get those courts formed. And then, of course, we'll be the Supreme Court, the nascent Sanhedrin. We'll be the Supreme Court, and we'll adjudicate that stuff over them. All right, let's go one-on-one, and let's see what they're talking about. Okay, Noahide 1. Idolatry is forbidden. Okay? Man is commanded to believe in the one God alone, worship him only. This is in slide 9. Under the Talmud, followers of Mashiach are idolaters deserving of death by decapitation. Okay, let's see if that's right. Sure it is. Followers of Mashiach cry out from hell. That's in the Babylonian Talmud, Avodah Zarah, 17a. Following Mashiach is graver than incest. Babylonian Talmud, Avodah Zarah, 17a. Balaam was the name given to Yahusha. That's from the Sanhedrin, 106b, and Get, 57a. Yahusha was a sorcerer, corrupter, and a blasphemer. Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin, 106a. Okay, let's keep going. You see what I'm talking about? We have the Talmud telling us, labeling Mashiach as Balaam, the false prophet, and then describing him as a corrupter, a sorcerer, a blasphemer, and yes, Balaam is burning in hell, etc., etc. This is what the Talmud declares about believers in Mashiach. When you talk about anti-blasphemy laws, we have a First Amendment in this country that allows you to speak freely, right? It was Daniel Webster, who said, I may disagree with every word that comes out of your mouth, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. That's what the First Amendment is all about. It's about a free marketplace of ideas that is marked by free expression of speech, and the speech that is to be protected is the speech in particular that you don't like. That's the speech that has to be protected, the speech you don't like. But we already have an AI and this rising generation of techno-fascism that wants to limit your speech. You can't say that publicly. You can't use that word. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do the other thing. I have a First Amendment that says I can speak as I see fit, as long as I'm not screaming fire in a theater or enticing somebody to fight or purveying pornography. There's speech that or giving secrets to the enemy, right? There is speech that I have a right to say, even if people don't like it. But the Noahide laws are going to reduce that on. We're going to tell you what to speak, what to think, and how to feel. And there's a whole ton of laws that come with it. Europe has resisted for years, and the United States has resisted for years, the Islamic call to pass an anti-blasphemy law. Now, the Muslims want an anti-blasphemy law that does not allow you to make any derogatory comment about Muhammad or to depict his image anywhere or to criticize Islam. Now, there are already 25 states in the United States that have made it illegal to advocate boycotting Israel. It's a criminal act in 25 states. That's a form of blasphemy laws, okay? These blasphemy laws are extremely dangerous. I mean, imagine if we came out and we said, we're going to propose a blasphemy law that anybody who uses the old name Jesus Christ instead of Yahshua HaMashiach is engaged in blasphemy, subject to beheading or subject to being criminalized and being adjudicated under the felony statutes of the United States. I mean, how about that? How about all of that? If you have, it's who holds the hand of the blasphemy whip that determines what the blasphemy law is going to say. Now, Canada has enacted all kinds of hate speech codes, including a pro-Islamic blasphemy law in Canada. If you make certain statements concerning the LGBT community, for instance, or if you make a statement concerning Islam, you will be brought in front of the Canadian Human Rights Commission, and you will be tried. And you can be massively fined and permanently enjoined from ever opening your mouth in public again. Okay? Blasphemy laws. I am absolutely opposed to any form of blasphemy law. They're anathema to the First Amendment. And the First Amendment is what this country is all about. It's the last freedom we have. And if we don't hang on to that one, then you and I won't be talking and doing any of these shows anymore.